We're gonna start recording. Boom. So it's Thursday, November 5th, 2020. Obviously, 2 days after the election, still nothing is decided yet. So the markets are quite choppy in here. But that's okay. That's okay. There's still some opportunities this week that we've been looking at. So we're gonna go over everything. In these live trading sessions, guys, we're pretty much just gonna go over all the pairs that we're looking at for today. These are recorded, so you can review them on YouTube following the session. And we're going to go over everything from market structure, entries, projections, um, drawing our key levels, everything like that. Mainly just going to focus on doing top-down analysis. So we got Nick joining up in here too. What's up? What's up?
Going on?
About to get started. So I'll just go first.
Wow.
Get my video. Here we go. What's up, everybody? So we're gonna get started with, we're on EU right now, but I'm gonna bump over to DXY. As you can see, this thing's falling as anticipated though. So let's bump up to the monthly time frame. So on the monthly, we closed below this monthly level, rejection of this level, and then we had this large wick, so this doji candle. So that's a sign of reversal there. As we come down to the weekly time frame, overall, we've just been very bearish on this, guys. Moving average is still red over blue. We're below the 200-day on this weekly time frame. So let's continue to go down. Daily time frame, pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing, bearish all the way. So working down from this previous lower high to this lower low. We retested right near this 38.2 level. Adjust that a little bit. Right near this 38.2 level, came down, retested. Then we had this bearish engulfing large wick, and as you can see, this thing's falling down now. And this thing had been bearish pretty much all the way here. It had broken this support level on the 1 hour, retested, and then pushed through, and then these bearish engulfings below the 200-day. So this thing's bearish on every single time frame. Let's look at it where it currently is right now. We have this support level right here that it just broke below. This thing is moving pretty aggressively, so it could push all the way down at this point now into this weekly level. Down to the 1 hour, we want to see closure below this like 90 to 800 level. We want to see closure pretty much below this level. So anything below here, if this retests at all and confirms that this is resistance, then we could expect this thing to head lower. So DXY is bearish. When we look at other pairs, let's keep that in mind. Let's go to NU. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. All right, so with it in mind that DXY is bearish, this thing has pushed up. So the dollar has gotten weaker. NZD has gained strength against the dollar. We've been watching this weekly trend line for a minute here, or this weekly resistance level for a minute. Retest this level 1, 2, 3, 4, now 5 times. So really, we're coming up to key resistance now. We're coming up to retest this 200-day. As you could see previously, this level was rejected. So it's tough to take any sort of buys at the moment. If anything, we're looking for some sort of reversal here, some sort of retest of this channel that just broke right now. So I'm just going to draw out. This is definitely a level of resistance right here. I'm actually going to label this. And as we saw with DXY, DXY is to the downside. If DXY does start to pull back, that would indicate this pulling back down into this level, and this range is about 50 pips. So we could see potential sells at the top here. Got this resistance level. If we start to see some wicks, any signs of reversal here, we'll bump down to the lower time frames. On the flip side, if we look at these two areas, let's look at this. Let's look at this. We'll look at this one first. Right here, we'll bump down to the 1 hour. So What we need to see here is we need to see a pullback and a clear cut lower high or higher low before entering. And as you can see, this thing pulled back, failed to cross, back over, and then just started to dump again. And then we have this where it dumps again. So we're going to be very cautious at this level. We don't want to get caught in something like this where we're entering long here and then this thing just falls off entirely. We need to see on this lower time frame some sort of break of this resistance or something. So that's the first area. Let's bump up to this one now. Let's take a look at how it reacted up here. So same thing. We came up into this zone, continued to form bullish price action. If we were watching this and we had no idea that there was a resistance level there, this is what we would see. We could even bring on this little channel here. It was staying within this, came up, and then broke. So it's going to be tough. I don't want to look for any sort of buys at this moment. If anything, I'm waiting for, again, like I said, signs of reversal here. So let's go back to where we're at now. So we're at the same level again, obviously coming into a very strong. So again, just going to sit on the sidelines, and I'm going to look for a potential short from this level. Let's see. So any signs of reversal here, we're going to look to short. So that's NU. Let's go over to EU, which has also been surging to the upside. Let's go to the monthly. All right, so up on the monthly time frame, we're back at this weekly level of resistance. We hit a level or hit this level, rejected it with this bearish engulfing, and then had this following candle, no wick at the bottom. So a lot of sellers in the market, and then this thing just decided to take off. I look at this similar to this area. We had the break upwards, pulled back, and then we found support and continued to go higher. So it's going to be good to look at this area as something similar as we get this bullish engulfing candle here. We've got, hold on, let's go daily time frame. What happened here? This thing went forward a little too much. 4 hour.
This volume is nuts.
Yeah, this is. Where are we on? Daily?
Yep.
Jesus. Or no, we were on the weekly? I don't know. Oh, yeah, we were on this. So we were on this. Let's break this down to a lower time frame. Let's go down to the weekly right here. So this is the bullish engulfing, and then it forms a higher low in here over the weekend. Let's play this forward. What the hell goes on with this thing? I don't know why my chart's like all, maybe not. Oh yeah, because we're all the way up on the monthly time frame. So this thing pulls back a little bit. And guys, this is what I'll do if I'm looking at a situation right now that I'm unsure of. I'll just go back and look at something that formed in the past. And then this thing actually takes off up here. So this was price action right here. I'm going to come on, take this pattern. Let's come back to where we're at right now. Let's bump up. Let's see how this lines up. Let's bring this over. So as you can see, we're having very similar price action here. That's why I'm doing this. We have this potential bullish engulfing going on right here. It is early in the month, and this is the monthly time frame. And you see how this thing did dip back following this. So let's look at the daily. Daily, we need to get above to go with that same pattern. Daily, we need to secure a higher high above this level. So we're coming back up into this level that we sold off of twice. If we confirm a higher high above this level on this daily time frame, then we'll start to buy. So let's mark this out because we got this as a high point. We could even put it on the median of these candles right here. So potentially looking to break above there. Let's just hit the 4-hour real quick. So 4-hour is in, what is this? 4-hour is in this full retracement. So originally we had our fibs like this. We broke this level of support. We were coming back. We are looking for whether we found resistance here or if we moved up to this higher level. We're all the way up at this supply zone up here. So we could drag this, put this on, clean this up a little bit. So we're all the way up right now at this supply zone. So pretty much price is either going to reject this level or we're going to continue higher. So if we see wicks signs of reversal here, then we will look to short out of this zone to the downside. And on the flip side, if this thing on the 4-hour starts to have closure above this level, then we will look for a retest, and that's where we go long. So we don't really need to go anywhere other than this 4-hour time frame at the moment. I'm going to move this up to red, and this is our outlook again on the 4-hour time frame. So let's go over to USEF. So this was a trade that we put in the premium analysis earlier this week. USEF and UCAD correlated very damn close to DXY. So let's start up on the monthly time frame right here. So up on the monthly or up on the weekly time frame, very bearish, red over blue, very similar to DXY. As you can see, we have the support level here that's held for since July. So this is definitely a significant level with a lot of buyers. That's what we're hitting now. Daily time frame, we were very bearish. We pulled back. We hit 38.2. So this was our daily level of structure. And then breaking this down even further, we were looking at this price action right here. So I'm just going to highlight. We had this bearish engulfing candle on the daily time frame, and then we went down to the 1-hour, and we saw a very clean transition from uptrend to a downtrend. So we had a break of support, pulled back, hit 61.8, had this bullish or had this entry opportunity right here. And then we started to form this box pattern last night. We marked that up, and then inevitably we had this next entry came right there when it broke out of this box pattern. Could have put our stops right above this level, around 25 pips, and now it's up about 50 pips. So this was a trade we had marked out last night. Today, going into today, what are we looking to do? I can take off this fib. I can clean up because we don't need these technicals anymore because this is past.
What was it? Excuse me. What was the execution time? It was like
That's
3
what I
a.m.
want to do. Well, that first entry, I mean, pretty much any entry below here was good because this was yesterday at 5 or yesterday at 5 a.m. and then all day it started to form this like rectangle pattern here, this like descending triangle.
And then that final engulfing was at what time?
What this?
Yeah, yeah, in
Yeah,
there.
this was at 2 a.m. But I mean, it showed a lot of entries before that.
Yeah.
That was definitely the last kind of breakout there. You even had really all this.
A little bit of a pennant.
Yeah, because this thing just correlated so well too with DXY. So this thing at this point though is falling off right now. So we're back into this support level. So guys, we're not going to take any sort of sells right now. We're going to wait. The reality of it is this thing is in very bearish price action all the way down to the 1-hour. In order to enter on something like this, we need to see confirmations near the next levels of support. So this is obviously a level of support that's going to be tested right here. So we need to see how price reacts. You see previously, price comes into these levels, rejects it, comes out, comes into these blue levels, rejects it, comes out. So looking for something similar. This thing could fall all the way down even into this level, how it did previously. So nothing doing right now on USEF. And if we're going to look for a buy, it's got to be until like the moving averages start to cross back to the upside. So this one I'm going to move up to red as it's towards the end of the week. Now we have UCAD, same thing that we had. We're bearish on the weekly time frame, moving averages red over blue. This thing moving down. Daily time frame, same thing, bearish. We could fib from our high to our low. We hit this 61.8, then we came up, hit this 50% level. And this is when we were looking for sells. Once this happened, this evening star right here, boom, and then we went down to the 1 hour. And then the 1 hour time frame, we had a break of structure up here. And then the first lower high opportunity was when all this volume kicked in and we were waiting. So all this volume kicked in, boom, went to the downside. Another bearish candle yesterday morning. And then we had this very minor pullback where we started to get these bearish engulfings here. So the volume, the reason why I was more on USEF than UCAD was this formed less of a pattern at the support level. There's not really even a pattern here. Once I went down to the 30-minute, and this is like a mini head and shoulders, but not even there wasn't a clear real entry here on the lower on this lower time frame. No sort of pattern, no pennant flag, anything like that. I didn't want to enter on this first push to the downside because my stops would have had to been really wide because the volume was pretty crazy. But as you can see now, this thing is pushing. It's continuing with this 1 hour trend. Now that it's broken 0%, whenever it finds support here, which let's hit the 4 hour and take a look at what the next level is. So 4 hour, we're going to come into this weekly level that we tested previously right here. Once this weekly level is tested, guys, that's when we're going to have to look at lower time frame price action. Very similar to, let's go back a little bit. Very similar to right here is we're going to have to start to look at lower time frame price action. We don't want to get faked out. This is a key level of support. So we came up last time, we had a bearish engulfing. This is normally our entry signal, but we don't have resistance here. This is support. This is support right here, came up off this level, came back, retested, then shot up. So we're looking for something similar to that right now. We won't take sells unless we get a clear-cut lower high on the 1 hour time frame below this level. So we need to get below this weekly level, and on the 1 hour it needs to form a lower high. So it's not a minor pullback like we saw here with this wick. It needs to actually confirm and hold below this level. If not, we're going to look for buys off of this level. So it's very similar to USEF right now, coming into serious support and EU. So let's come over to GU. So this thing, we've been following this all week, and we've been saying that this has been bullish structure all week. So let's break this down from the weekly. Let's go from the monthly actually. So from the monthly time frame, we had resistance from this level. We take off these fibs, and then we had this pullback. We had this doji showing that this level was holding. And then with that in mind, we just came down to the weekly. We see we're holding above this 200-day moving averages are holding. We can take these off, and we can see that they're actually pointing upward now. So that's pretty significant. Down to the daily. Daily time frame has been in a bullish trend. Formed structure here at 618, and we came up. We're continuing to push up in this trend. And then if we come down to the 4 hour, this is mainly where I was drawing structure. You can see I had these breaks, these levels and everything. So we broke structure here. We formed a new high. We pulled back this higher low, formed a new high here. We had this demand zone down here that was being tested, never actually broke below this level. And then we had this surge to the upside and this pullback. This is where I believe we put this in the premium analysis at some point. maybe not. But regardless, we've been covering this all week on these live sessions. And as you can see here, this right here was when we started to look for buys, when this huge bullish candle came through on the 4-hour. And then as we came down to the lower time frame, we could see this was the break of structure here. We could even sit on the 1-hour. The 1-hour was when we broke above this level, so this was even more major. And then we were just waiting on the pullback. And then we had all this crazy price action in here, which is why we were undecided. And then last night at 2 a.m., this kicked in. So this was really the only opportunity to actually enter on this once this 1-hour came through everything, which is why we didn't take a trade on this. This was a pretty choppy market to be trading right here. We were coming down, and then all of a sudden we just surged up last night. But we are keeping with this 4-hour trend. So this 4-hour trend is bullish. We're anticipating getting back into these highs right here, but we're gonna face a lot of resistance here. This wicked tremendously off of this 38.2 previously. So we're gonna test this level now. We're gonna see as these other pairs are shaping up. We are anticipating reversals on EU, USEF, UCAT. So with that in mind, GU is shaping up to be bullish, but we just got to be patient. We don't want to enter now. This thing is just very clearly at a high point. So we need to see some sort of pullback on this. And if we're not near an entry, like it's all good. Like we could just wait. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the end of the world if this thing isn't close to an entry. But at a minimum on this 30-minute, we need to see a pullback and a higher low to actually enter on this. So that's GU. Last but not least, let's hit GJ. Let's go up. This thing's coming back now. So let's go up onto the weekly time frame. Weekly has been very bearish on GJ, forming lower lows and lower highs over and over again. Down to the daily time frame. We could also see on the weekly, we've been watching this all week, moving averages crossed right in here. So red over blue means that we're bearish. Down to the daily time frame. I don't know what this is. You could see this, right?
Yes.
I don't know what that is. All right, so down to, I gotta like close out and freaking restart my computer. So down to this, would you consider this to be head and shoulders, Nick? This right here, hold on. We've got left, head, right.
Like a slanted neckline. It's a little exaggerated, but I mean it's still technically
It's
just a
not bad.
reverse pattern.
It's
If
not
you just
bad,
look,
right?
not terrible. No, I mean there's definitely clear levels in there where if you saw this higher low break, there'd be a clear transition.
I'm bagging
We
DJ
have a
now.
lower high formation now, which is good, which could be the right shoulder. Either way, yeah, I mean it's definitely hinting at a continuation to the downside. I like this. This looks pretty clean.
Yeah, so we're looking for GJ to continue to go lower, and that would also line up with all these other pairs reversing. So GJ heading lower would line up with USD gaining some strength out here.
Where's the fact? The fact of it is that all this volume we just saw coming out of the dollar, that huge drop, that's speculation. I mean,
Right.
what's the weight behind that move, guys? Like, if you think about it logically for a second, like, what's the weight behind that, right? People, there's the election. That's it. Just the general election. People just speculating and shorting the crap out of the dollar because things are undecided. The election, it's not. The counting is now taking 3 days. There's all these other problems. So it just things aren't looking good. So that's the short-term outlook is extreme bearish volume. So for it to come back is very likely. As things start to stabilize again, as the market gains a footing and then makes its move into the real direction, we'll see everything start to stabilize.
Right.
Until then.
Now even down, let's break down this right shoulder here. So as we can see, the moving averages are red over blue. So this is forming a lower high on the daily time frame. As we come down to the 4-hour time frame, this is forming a downtrend structure. So we broke this level of support. We pushed down to this low. We came back. So we could use our fibs. And this is the original we had. We could use our fibs right here. Boom. So we came up, hit this 61.8 level, had this like huge wick. We actually took a sell last night, or we took it on we actually took it on the live session yesterday. So we sold right in here. We were up about 50
Good amount.
pips,
Yeah, good amount.
50 pips or so, and then this thing loves to do this. It came back. Now, if we break this down to a lower time frame, we can see that this is really the first lower high that it's forming, even on this 30 minute. We could even hit the 1 hour here, like the 1 hour. This thing is just chop city. So we had this break here. We never formed a true lower high. If this thing gets below the moving averages on the 1 hour again, then it's going to be a signal, a sell signal for sure. So we're looking at the 4 hour. We're retesting resistance. We've got the 200 day here. You know, there's a lot of resistance here right now on GJ, and we're at this key level, this weekly level that we didn't break last time, but we're mapping out that head and shoulders pattern that inevitably could be hit. Let's bring this down right here. So, you know, we are bearish on GJ along with these other pairs, looking for GJ to head lower. I'm not going to sell until this thing closes below, at the minimum, the 200 day on the 30 minute, more on the 1 hour, looking for this thing to really close lower, moving averages cross, everything like that. So that's GJ. That's the last pair that I have. I did NU, EU, USEF, UCAD, and GU. I'm going to post in the premium analysis today some more pairs for you guys, or updates from these pairs. And so if you're interested in looking at that, you can get in there. It's $7 one-time fee. So I'm going to pass this over to Nick, and he's going to get started with the pairs that he has for you guys.
Perfect. Good analysis, Angelo. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Guys, had a crazy week. I mean, this week is pretty straightforward. We kind of knew exactly what we were going to get. And, you know, that was just tons of indecision leading up to a point of, you know, extreme volatility, which has pretty much been this week. So we had a lot of indecision, quick little ripsaw, you know, no real, the market didn't really go anywhere. It went down, it went up, and then it just remained where it was. And then, so that's the indecision. And then we had a huge spike last night. Tons and tons of volume stepped into the market, you know, pushing the dollar lower. So this is all speculation, guys, as we mentioned earlier. We were expecting a bearish dollar here. I was expecting a little more consolidation, a little more of a, you know, of a healthy trend here with a break and retest. But obviously, huge momentum just pushed this thing lower, literally to the pip of this supporting trend line. If we go to the daily time frame, just take a look. This is that supporting trend line to the pip. It's rejecting a little bit right now. So we could see a pullback. You know, look for, I would expect price action to pull back into this zone first, and then we'll see. Maybe it'll consolidate, find resistance here. But either way, it's definitely got to pull back a little bit here. So not really much going on with the dollar at this point. I don't really think it's going to keep surging lower. So let's just wait on this one to form some sort of structure, some normal, you know, healthy market conditions, or healthy, excuse me, healthy price action that we could then make, you know, maybe some, you know, better trade scenarios on. But overall, definitely bearish on the dollar for right now. Let's move on to AU, take a look at what's going on. So every USD pair we look at is going to have a crazy spike to the up or downside, because as we just covered, the dollar, you know, dropped a good amount. So there's been some movement this morning. Let's go to the daily time frame on AU first. Overall, we were very bearish. Now we're very bullish. We had a key transition took place right at this monthly zone. So what we're going to do is drop to the 4 hour, take a look at this set of price action here, and come up with trade scenarios, a couple trade scenarios. All right. So here was that break of the monthly over here. As you can see, ascending channel. We broke this daily higher low, transition to the downside on the daily time frame. Price action fell to the monthly, tested that broken level, comes back up, tests the daily broken level, starts ranging. We go back and test the monthly 2 more times, rejects again, gives us this little higher low here, and then moves up with pretty good volume. Retest 0715, just like we had drawn here yesterday. right? I was expecting a higher low off this level to then go long on, or a higher low off this daily zone, which would be the more conservative entry. And it looks like we're in part two because this executed, right? It broke, retested, rejected, took off. So that one played out. And then we're waiting for a higher low here and a continuation higher. So this could be a nice little play. Again, it all depends on how much the dollar pulls back, right? If it's a significant, pullback and all that volume was truly just speculation, we're going to see everything pretty much come back to right where it was before the volume stepped into the market. So this could come back all the way down towards 0.71, 0.715. DXY could come back to that broken level that we talked about up here. Okay, so we could definitely see all this get erased and kind of find us back at this level where we'll have to reanalyze and come up with more trade scenarios. But for now, this is the opportunity that we can see. Looking for some sort of higher low opportunity, right, for us to capitalize on. But let's finish this one up with a potential bearish scenario. What do we need to see happen? And this one's pretty straightforward. This one is just going to be a lower high below 0.715. Very, very simple. And this would be a transition. There you go. A transition back below this key zone at 0.715. And it also would be a transition, through this higher low, so to break up that higher low, and then also through this 200 EMA and these other MAs here. So that would be really nice. A break of all that, retest as resistance, and then enter on some sort of bearish engulfing, bearish variation, and target lower back down towards this monthly zone. All right, so that's AU. It's definitely broken out right now. So how it reacts now is going to determine a lot. Will it have the conviction to hold above the zone, or is it going to reverse with the XY? So we'll see. We will see. Let's move on to, where is it? AJ. We're going to move on to AJ first. Daily time frame. So we are actually bearish on AJ here. Overall, we were bearish first. We did get a transition here once this lower high was broken. We had a nice higher low here to confirm it. Rallied into our monthly zone where we then rejected, got a false breakout. Daily transition took place. And then we got a huge descending channel now forming. So let's go ahead and drop down on that, the 4-hour time frame, get a closer look, and look at these trade scenarios that we got playing out. All right, so clearly bearish channel, guys. This is clearly the trend right here. We recently saw a break of this 4-hour zone and then saw it act as resistance 1, 2, 3 times. Currently at that zone now. Looking like it's breaking through it, but still a key level. So there could be a reversal. There could be an entry on a reversal here or an entry on a breakout. I'm going to clean this up and redraw pretty much all of this. Just adjust some levels here. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so this is kind of breaking to the upside. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these fibs just for the sake of clearing things up. Get rid of this, make things super simple. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and make this level a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, so where price action is now, this looks like kind of an ascending wedge here on a lower time frame, which means weakening of trend. Could this be a lower high? Absolutely. Could we see rejection from this 4-hour level and then a nice bearish leg down within this channel here? Absolutely. Let's go ahead and mark it up. Let's see what this needs to look like. We'll also count some confirmations, right? We need to see some rejection from this 4-hour level and the 200. Ideally, I want to see price action move below these MAs and then find resistance at them, right? Retesting for resistance, just like that arrow's drawn. Let me change the color here. That'd be cool. There we go. Perfect. And then our entry is going to be somewhere in here on a confirmed lower high. That would be a beautiful trade. Enter on a lower high below these MAs. Nice bearish variation, and then we're shorting into low points. So 73.4 would be a nice target. Even down around 72.75, 72.8, 73 flat. All good targets. But yeah, this weekly zone breaks. I mean, this thing could really fall a good amount. So we'll keep an eye on this. Definitely looking to just play this this channel here. It'd be a nice little lower high opportunity to get a nice little short. All right, but now let's consider long opportunities. What needs to happen for us to change our bias, for us to start looking at long setups seriously? What needs to happen? And that is simply a break of this channel. Decent break, pull back with a confirmed higher low. This is just textbook, absolutely textbook. Anytime you're playing a break of a channel, a descending channel anyway, this is what you want to see. Nice break out of the channel, confirmed higher low, and then bullish setups to follow. And this is where your entry would be, pretty much right here. Boom. All right. So whichever way this plays, we'll be ready. Again, it is at this key level. This 4-hour zone is going to determine a lot for this pair. Okay, either it's going to reverse here, find some nice movement to the downside, or we're going to break. This trend is going to have enough volume to break this channel, and then we'll get a long opportunity, hopefully sooner than later. All right, so that's AJ. Let's move on to EJ. Well, we got EJ, UJ, then gold. All right, EJ looking like it was ready to execute last night. Oh, so upsetting. All right, daily time frame first. We were very bearish with a large descending channel here. But that changed when we got this weekly transition. This set of lower highs broke. Price action moved through it, confirmed it with a higher low, and then volume, momentum continued rather. And then we saw a large spike into the monthly zone. Then we got a nice range here, slow reversal, finally lower high, presented itself, then moved through these higher lows. So that's a daily break. Came back up, retested. Let's drop down, take a closer look at this this new channel here. So 4-hour time frame, here we come. Let's zoom out. All right, so here is that reversal at the monthly, that little bit of a range with 3 peaks. Nice lower high, move through these high lows here, as we have labeled, daily break of structure. Price action came down, found a low, went sideways, pulled back, tested the daily break once, twice, then moved lower, doing something similar that we just saw on this higher time frame. Broke through 2 higher lows right here, 1, 2, which was then the 4-hour break of structure. So where are we now? We are currently retesting that 4-hour zone that we just broke. So price action moved through these higher lows, broke the 4-hour, came down, found a low, pulled back through the MAs. Now we're at the 4-hour level again, testing it right at the 50% fib level. So we formed structure. We're now at key resistance. We could definitely see, let me clear this up. We pulled back through the MAs. So there could be a nice little entry here. So this is what I would really want to see to go short. Something like this. Oops. Oh my Lord, there it is. All right, cool. So something like this. Again, lower high below these MAs, below this little higher low here. It's a lower time from higher low, probably like a 1 hour, 30 minute, but I want to see a lower high below that level. So right where I have this lined off, this is like a very minor level. I'm going to make this blue. Very, very minor level, but I'm going to use it for entry purposes specifically. Everything else here is favoring, a bearish outlook. This little transition through this level here is just going to give me the confidence, the extra confidence for an entry, saying that this has got the conviction to move lower and is going to maintain this trend. All right, but this one looks pretty straightforward. I mean, I like the way EJ is looking here. If we just get a nice swift reversal from here, this would play in with the trend pretty well. So we'll see. We will see that your entry would be right here, guys. Boom. There you go. All right. So now for long opportunity, what needs to happen? We need to see a higher low above this 4-hour, but even then, I'm not convinced because of this range. This range is just, it's so bearish, so bearish, right? So even if you bought on a higher low here, transition back above this 4-hour zone, it didn't really break anything. Like, yeah, you broke this one lower high right here, right? You broke this lower high, but the next significant level is all the way up here around 124.2. So really, you want to wait for a break of that or a break of the daily zone, right? But anyway, look for this. Look for a break back above this 4 hour, back into this range. That will be the first sign of a transition back to a bullish trend. Okay, look for that 4 hour break and retest. But until then, super bearish, especially as we maintain price action at current resistance. So yeah, EJ, that's another good one. All right, let's move on to UJ, and then we're gonna wrap it up with gold, which is just crazy. Oh, look at that. All right, so daily time frame on UJ, guys. Overall bearish. I mean, nothing's changed on these higher time frames. We know how bearish UJ has been. Giant descending triangle here that we can clearly see. Descending, trend line here. Lots of lower highs. All pushing price action into our key support at 105, 104.5. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit more here. We could just see that these lower highs are just continuing to be printed, one after the other, lower high after lower high after lower high. So let's go to the 4 hour and get a closer look at this price action here. So real quick, we don't need to see the colors. I just want to show you guys price action movement. So key support was here at this weekly at 107. We finally moved through it. And now we're in this lower portion, stuck between this weekly zone at 107 and this support zone at 104.5. So we have been getting tons of lower highs. Price action is getting slammed into this support level, which is good. It's showing consolidation. It's showing that this is gearing up for a pretty large move, volume wise anyway, and that this could be ready to break soon. So we have that in mind. The overall trend, right? Very, very bearish. This was the most recent transition. We broke through this support at 106, came back up, retested, gave us a head and shoulders, gave us that lower high, and then absolutely dropped. It spiked to the downside right to 104. So we got a little bit of a pullback. Price action has been dancing around 104, not really giving us any conviction. And then this happened. We get a quick surge to the 4 hour zone, a 4 hour structure zone, 200 EMA as well, resisting trend line, giant wick off that level, and then sends price action plummeting to a new low, all the way down at 103.6 right now. What was the absolute lowest? Yeah, 103.6. All right, so that's where we're at now. Now, is this going to hold? Is this going to keep tumbling towards 100 levels? Absolutely not. This is a move driven by speculation, right? This is all caused from news. It's caused from election, caused from uncertainty. This is just people shorting the crap out of the dollar because things aren't looking that great, But this is not going to hold down here. I definitely think that we're going to see this start to kind of scrunch up a little bit, present a wick, and then form this, maybe a slow reversal or a slow pullback, something like we've seen here. So let's go ahead and get this bar pattern range. So look, we had a nice spike to the downside, and then a nice slow reversal, and then a continuation. That's pretty much what we're seeing now, right? Nice spike to the downside, and then we could see a nice slow pullback. Maybe a pattern will form. This would be a good flag opportunity. Some sort of triangle, anything like that. But this is what we want to see. We want to see a pullback. So we have a significant break, very significant break, no doubt about it. Want to see some sort of pullback now. That's part two. That's what we want to see for some more conservative entry opportunities. And ideally, this one would look like a nice lower high, just below this 1 hour zone on some sort of pullback. Either at that level or just below 104.5, anything like that. We would like to catch an entry on. All right, so that's UJ, guys. We can make a play down towards 103 flat. I think if this continues lower, if we see some conviction step in here, definitely 103 level is where we're headed, which is about 70 pips lower from the current zone. You definitely see that happening. All right. Now, long opportunities. What needs to happen? Transition to the 4 hour minimum, absolute minimum. Just because of how much bearishness has been going on with UJ. Every time frame shows it. tons of spikes. Clearly the volume is bearish here. Just look at that. So for me, conservatively, I'm not interested in any long opportunity until this 4-hour zone is broken. Clearly and definitely higher low above this 4-hour. Then I'm looking at longs. But yeah, until that, short UJ on any lower high below 1045. Perfect. All right, cool. Let's wrap this up with gold, guys. Always a fun one because the volume is just absurd. Let's go to the daily time frame to start. Absolutely bullish on like every time frame. Just the most bullish chart you're going to see. Super, super bullish, guys. So let's talk about this bit of price action here that we're seeing form. We had a break of 1800. Price action skyrocketed. Took a ride on one of Elon's freaking rockets up to 2070. Thing just absolutely just took off. Not a bearish candle in sight, just one maybe. Then it pulls back, gives us this descending triangle. Key support at 1930. Tons of lower highs. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Price action finally popped. Gave us that daily transition as these are broken higher lows. We found a low, came back up, tested that daily broken structure, and then started consolidating. So let's go to the 4-hour, get a close look at that range, and start plotting some potential trade scenarios. So this was an example I was covering in a webinar. I think I did it in the session, then also covered in a webinar later yesterday. So I was just highlighting these, showing you guys the break, and then the bounce, kind of confirming the range and so on, which we're still very much in. Still very much within a range here. Let me go ahead and get rid of this, clear these fibs, get rid of that. Perfect. All right, so descending triangle on the left here. Here was that break of 1930, this daily zone right here. Found a low, started forming some 4-hour lower highs, broke that, so I went bullish on the 4-hour, maintained bearishness on the daily. Okay, so this is a range, clear range, and you guys know how to play ranges at this point, and you guys know that this is one of my most favorite plays. Super, super easy to follow in my opinion, and this is literally the classic break and retest strategy. And that's pretty much it for this. Looking for a gold, looking for a long on gold. I want to see a high low above this daily. Higher low. Right above the daily zone. Break, retest, boom, we're in. We're long. We're taking profit. And that's a good day. So that's going to be nice once that plays out. For us to go short, lower high below the 4-hour. I mean, I know that's so far away. Some people probably thinking, oh my God, that's just like all the way below all these support levels. This is too far away maybe, but this is conservative. This is a safe trade. This is going to be a high probability trade if you see this play out. Now, I'm just going to leave that orange for now. Now, there are trades within the range. You could take a short here if you see something like this. I don't recommend trading ranges. I always like break and retests. That doesn't mean you have to follow exactly what I'm saying. You can do this. You could trade a range. It's not really, there's more risk involved. That's really it. It all just depends on your tolerance level for your trading. How comfortable are you? So we could see something like this. Nice little reversal from this spot. Right? You want to enter some sort of lower high. Some sort of lower high with conviction would be a good entry. All right, but until this happens, I mean, until this range is broken, look to trade the range if you want. But until that happens, look for a significant break to the upper downside on gold. All right, so quick recap. I covered DXY, AU, EJ, AJ, UJ, and gold. Damn. It's moving. All right, so that's pretty much it for the pairs, guys. I mean, and that actually concludes it for our live sessions in this week. The next time we're going to see you guys is going to be on Sunday for the Sunday Market Blitz. All right, so
yeah, we'll be back on Sunday. So I see some people are getting in. We have, like you said, the premium analysis. We're gonna drop all the analysis that we went over today. We're gonna drop in this premium analysis channel. So all the lower time frame stuff is just $7 one-time fee. So if you guys want to get involved in that, just come to the Start Here section. As always, that leads into the signals, which are 75, and the actual course, which is $4.99. But if you guys want more information on that and if you just want to watch, we have another webinar. If you guys want to watch it, I'm going to drop the link in here. This webinar will answer a lot more questions. So I saw someone asked about fibs. This will answer some questions around that too. So it's just going to be a live webinar for you guys. If you want to continue with this live session, if you have time and want to go watch that, go ahead through that link right there. I'll also drop it in the chat, in the Discord chat. And like Nick said, this is the conclusion of the live session, of the live sessions for the week. If you guys want to come back and watch any of them, just come into the analysis section and you can go back and review any of the ones that went down. And as always, you can come back and look at all of our analysis for the week and see how things played out. So we'll be back on Sunday. We'll post all of our analysis. Yeah, if you're interested, just hit me up after the session in the Discord and we could talk.
And also, just if you have any questions, guys, you can always reach out to us too. One of us is usually on Discord here. We're very accessible. So if you guys have questions about trading in general, maybe you're just getting into trading, just any general trading question, or questions for us, reach out to us, guys. Have a conversation. Jump in the Discord, and yeah. So we'll see you in there.
Yep. So we'll catch you guys on Sunday in the next session. Yeah, the giveaways from all sessions of this week. So it's not just these guys. So 25% chance. So yeah, we'll get everybody. We'll get the giveaway announced at the end of the week. We're also doing the giveaway for the memes. We're announcing that one soon, and the profits one too. So make sure you guys come in here, post your profits in here, post your memes. We'll get those announced, and we'll see you guys on Sunday. So thanks for the support as always, and hope you guys have a good day, good night for some people.
Yep, and enjoy the rest
See
of
you guys next time. Peace.